So tell me, do you want to build a snowman? Hey everyone, Cristin here, and we are continuing with our Cup of Cheer quilt. Today we get to start on section 6. Oh my gosh, we're doing so great. I'm really proud of everyone. I've been seeing all the photos that you're posting in the Cristin Creates group on Facebook, and I love to see that. I especially love the ones when you are included in the photo. I think that's really fun. Makes me smile. All right, so we are going to work on the snowman block today, and it is on page 32 of our booklet. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we need today for the snowman block. So this is a really easy block. You can see there's only a couple of applique pieces and our dot. We'll talk about that. But it includes fringe, and some people have trouble with fringe or just get scared of fringe, I think. I haven't found it to be difficult. It's a little intimidating at first. It definitely is. Every time I do it, in fact, it's a little intimidating. You're like, am I going to be able to see it? But it always works out really well. So just keep in mind, we'll go over some tips. And well, let's go ahead and get started on the products that we need for today. So this is one of my favorites. I love this one. So this is the teal colored bluish teal with all the Christmas like candy canes and peppermints and all of that for our main fabric. And we're going to start with this one at 8.5 by 10.5. 8.5 by 10.5. It is a big piece of fabric. So make sure to back it with fusible stabilizer. Kimberbell Fusible Backing is what I'm using, and it works great. So 8.5 by 10.5. I have a little string, there it is, for our main fabric. And then we have two applique pieces. So one is for the snowman, and it is the white on white with white dots on it. And make sure, so if you use fusible backing, and I highly recommend it on this one, because keep in mind, it's going to be a white fabric on a teal fabric, and you don't want that to show through. You want your white snowman, okay? So I do highly recommend backing this with fusible stabilizer. The only thing I want to point out is when you do your applique piece, when you put down your applique piece right side up, make sure it's the side with the dots on it, because you can tell it looks pretty similar, right? The fusible backing side and the actual fabric side. So just check it, make sure that you've got the side with the dots on it right side up. So on this one, we're going to start with that 4.5 by 6.5 for our snowman fabric. And like I said, it's the white with white dots on it. So 4.5 by 6.5 backed with fusible stabilizer. Do it on that one. I highly recommend it. All right. And then on the red that's the Silky Solid red, and that's for his hat. So cute. It's probably the hat and the scarf, actually. The scarf might be stitched. Yeah, I think it's stitched. I'm not absolutely sure, but I will tell you as we get through there. All right, so for the snowman hat, it is 3.5 by 3.5. I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. That's optional. I like to do that. It makes it easier to cut. So I saw that someone posted in our group the other day that she was having a lot of trouble trimming around, and I really recommend if you back it with fusible stabilizer, it makes it easier to cut. You don't get all that fraying all over the place, but totally optional on this part. So 3.5 by 3.5 for the hat fabric. And then we are going to have that fabric dot. So it says fabric glue in the directions, but the dot is sticky, so you don't have to. It's up to you. I haven't used fabric glue throughout this project at all, but it's in the directions, so it's totally optional. But you are going to peel the little dot. It's the little one. It's the 1/2 inch size. The other one was the 3/4 inch size. So it's the littler one, and the only one that we're going to use is the soft side. All right, the soft side. So that means that we'll use the what do you call it, the harder side on the advent piece. But for the snowman piece, we're going to use the softer side. And you can see it's on a little piece of I don't know, something that we're going to just peel off, and it will be sticky. So that's all I've done. And then we tack it down anyway. So it's up to you. But 1/2 inch of that little loop, the hook and loop dot, and it's the soft side. And then we are going to quilt this. So we always use batting when we quilt. And I always base it on the final cut size. The final cut size is 6.5 by 8.5. So that means we want a piece of batting that is 7 by 9. 7 by 9 for your batting. I'm using the Kimberbell Project Batting. And let's see, then we are going to quilt it. So we're going to quilt this one with cup one in 6 by 8 design. So 6 by 8 cup 1. That will be cute on our snowman. And there's no horizontal or vertical on this one. It doesn't matter. We're going to bring in our quilting design first and then bring in the snowman design, merge them together, make sure both are centered. So no changes on that. And then here's the first tip I want to give you. So on the fringe, I'm going to show you how to do it the regular way. I'm pretty sure I'll use the regular way. I did buy the water soluble bobbin thread, and you can absolutely do that. A lot of people, when we did our winter stash buster pillow, a lot of people bought the vanishing bobbin thread, and you basically just on the back of your project you squirt it with water and then you pull up the stitches on the front, and it works for a lot of people. Everyone really likes this. I've never used it. Mine's still in the package. The original method works for me. But if you want this, there is a link under this video so that you can purchase this bobbin thread. And it's just, I think it was called Superior if I recall, but there's a link underneath. It's called Vanish Light, and it's disappearing water soluble bobbin thread. So if you want that, there's a link under this video. It's easy to get on Amazon. All right, so those are the only products that we're going to use. We are going to work on our snowman, and don't be afraid of the fringe. It's easier than you think, and we will get through it together. How cute is this fringe? Oh my goodness. And it's really so easy. A little harder on camera, but totally doable. So the big thing is that when you're using your seam ripper or whatever tool you're using, you're being careful not to cut anything, and you're just lifting, pulling up the stitches. That's all we're doing with the seam ripper. And my shirt today is another Cancer tank top that I made, and I will add a link to the design. I'll also add a photo because you can't really see it. It's on my back. And my husband's working from home and he's so loud. Did you get a workout today? I'm going to go do that. I'm going to do it now since hubby's on the phone and very, very loud. I'm going to take a break and go get a workout on my treadmill. I hope you're working out today. Let me know. I like to hear about how you're doing with your goals.